Shalom, when the start of souls by giving no praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kakodash, double honors to the apostle, great millstone, and honors to you brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's real name of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah or Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh. Son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, meaning in, her meaning the, and Sham, meaning names, Yahweh. The name of Yahweh Shai. So like real quick. I came across this, what do you call it? Not verified whether he's actually posted it, but the sentiment, of this particular this particular image, this particular post, right, had me thinking about the kingdom. Right, so I'm gonna read what it says. It started, this is allegedly from Mark Zuckerberg. It started raising cattle at Koaulu Ranch in Kauai. It says that my goal is to create some of the highest quality beef in the world. Right, the cattle are Wagyu and Angus, and they'll grow up eating macadamia meal and drinking beer that we grow and produce here on ranch. We want the whole process to be local and vertically integrated. Each cow eats 5 to 10,000 pounds of food each year, so that's a lot of acres of macadamia trees. My daughters help plant the mac trees and take care of our different animals. We're still early in the journey, and it's fun improving on it every season. Of all my projects, this is the most delicious, right? And you see that he's eating that, big cut of beef in the platter plate. Right, the other thing in the back looks raw as hell, but what can you expect, right? Morsel of meat, right? One morsel of meat, But yeah, once again, I was reading that and I was thinking about, some of the projects that Archeum are gonna be doing in the kingdom, and you're gonna have some Archeum, that are, gonna become wine experts, right? They're gonna, cultivate the best the best, what do you call it, the best grapes, right? They're gonna, the land itself is gonna be from the best soil, or for that particular type of grape, that they're trying to make, or even something like this, where it's like, hey, you want some, some of the best, beef, right? You gotta go to, to that brother's, plant, farm or whatever. Or if you want to, you want the best this, you gotta go there. You want the best that, you gotta go there. Hey, I heard this brother, right? He's got the best X, Y, Z, you know, and that's it. Right, so that's one of the things that we got to look forward to in the kingdom. Right, also made me think about King Solomon, right? How King Solomon had the best, right? Almost as a foreshadowing of of things to come, of what is going to be the case for us, right? So let's get into that right now. This is, and even which I meant to load it up but I didn't, right? But even when you look at the way King Solomon built his house, right? It said it took it what, like 13 years. Right, let me just find out how long did it take to build King Solomon's, how long did it take Solomon to build? 13 years, yeah. Right, First Kings, the 7th chapter, right? So it took King Solomon 13 years, right, to build his palace, right? And he had it in in good, and it was beautiful, right? Just like, once again, Arkin, we're gonna take time building what it is that we want to build, right? We ain't gonna have the constraints of now, where now it's just like time is always an enemy, right? But as the scripture saith, in the kingdom we're gonna live forever, right? So time is time is gonna be nothing for us. All right, this is First Kings 10. I'm gonna read through it, right? Just as an example of what it was like in the time of King Solomon, right? The opulence, right? Let me look up that word and I'll bring it in. Opulence, right? Move to another tab. Here we go, right? And as we see, right, great wealth or luxuriousness, right? Rooms of spectacular opulence, which is the spirit, because we were literally just talking about, King Solomon's temple, so rather King Solomon's palace, right? So we continue on. Right, First Kings 10 says, and when the Queen of Sheba, which King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba did not have sex, right, says, heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of Yahweh, she came to prove him with hard questions. right? So she thought, no, okay, let me go see, how on the level, King Solomon really is, right? And this is a thing as well. Listen to this. She came to Jerusalem with a very great train, right, with camels that bear spices and very much gold and precious stones. And when she came to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart, right? So basically, they came bearing gifts, right? Which one of the priests we're going to get is going to be in Isaiah, the 60th chapter, right? Which is what these heathens are going to be doing in the kingdom, right? They're going to be coming bearing gifts, saying, hey, here's the best this, here's the best that, right? Because they're going to be, they're going to be, well, they're going to be giving it to us, you know? Continuing on, right? So it says, and Solomon told her all her questions, that there was not anything hid from the king which he told her not, right? And when the in fact, let me look for this other priest, this other account, because there's another, what do you call it, account of this. Is it in this one? Where it's like she, they see it and then she thought it was Solomon, but was it even King Solomon? I always forget that one. But yeah, let's carry on anyway. It says, and Solomon told her all the questions. There was not anything hid from the king which he told her not. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all of Solomon's wisdom, right? Because that's another thing in the kingdom, right? In pursuant to Isaiah the second chapter, these nations are going to be like, let us go up to the to the children of Israel. Let's learn of the laws, okay, right? And that's because that wisdom, right, is going to be honest. We're going to be automatic righteous, as Akim say. We're going to be automatic righteousness, and people are going to be coming to to hear of it, and it's it's gonna be beautiful in the kingdom, man. Once again, not like here where we're just hurt. Okay, brothers just out here hurt. No matter what situation, what condition they're in, some way, somehow, Akim are hurt. Okay, why? But as we know, this is not our rest. When the so we read that verse 5. It says, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, right? So what he was eating, how decked out everything was, right? The apparel, how they were garmed up, as we say. Like, look at his garms, right? Is what we say in London. I don't know if we say it in America as well, but we used to say in London anyway, garms and that. How someone is dressed, right? His cupbearers, right, and his ascent by which she went up unto the house of Yahweh. There was no more spirit in her, right? So she basically was like, "Yo, I ain't on no level." Right, she was like, all right, at first she was like, all right, cool, let me go to King Solomon, let me see what it is that he's saying, all right, and then she found out that he's, King Solomon was saying a lot, right, and she basically was lost for words, as they say, gobsmacked, all right. It says, and she said to the king, it was a true report that I heard in my own lands of thy acts and of thy wisdom. Howbeit I believed not the words until I came, and mine eyes had seen it, and behold, the half of it was told me. Right? Thy wisdom and prosperity exceeded the fame which I heard. Right? And just like in this world, right, when you see how these well-to-do people really live, you're like, yo, the Lord has allowed it such that I've been around some super rich people, right? And then when I've seen how they've moved, I've just been like, what, as a nation, right? Which these were white Jake anyway, but just like as a nation, Jake is on no level, right? We really are at the bottom, right? Once again, when you see how these other the wealthy move, how these other nations move, Jake, we ain't on no level, man, right? The kind of things that we think are amazing for Eastwood, they're nothing. It's just like any other day, right? But once again, this is because this ain't our rest, and that's why we seek for the new kingdom, right? Where we can be the ones that everyone's like, look, man, right? So we can go back to this place, it says there was no more spirit in her, right? But that ain't gonna be for now, right? The riches of this world, that ain't for us right now. Okay, scriptures talk about, woe to them that be rich right now. Right, once again, rich. Jay will throw out a number and say that's rich. That ain't rich, right? That ain't rich. It's like what these. I think they said these. Let me just Google it real quick. Yeah, so in London alone, right, it says has 200 and London alone has 258,000 millionaires, right? 384 centimillionaires, so 10 has 10 millions, right? Oh no, hundreds of millions, right? And 36 billionaires. Okay. So 258,000. That's a lot of that's still a lot of people. Yeah, the population of London is 10 million, right? But 258,000, that's still a lot of millions. You go past certain places in London, right? You'll think it's a regular house. That house is worth over a million, right? Let me grab this real quick since we are on the topic. It's not what I want. What is this preset? Uh, Slacky, my mind escapes me. Yes, Psalm 73 and 5. Slacky. So it says, uh, I'll start from 3, right? So it says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm, right? And that's one thing we can do, because scripture talks about, envy not the prosperity of the wicked, roughly paraphrasing, right? When, because let's be real, you'll be seeing these Edomites and you're like, man, fuck this, right? Because Jake be actually grafting and Jake don't be getting anything. But hey, guess what? Once again, this ain't RS. This ain't the place for us to be, doing great and doing good or whatever. What have you? This is the place for us to suffer, right? Not saying that Arkham ain't gonna get respite here and there, but when you're looking at just the fact that was one fact as we're about to read it, right? Verse 5, they are not in trouble as other men. So did I read 4? For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Right? So these Edomites, you've seen how they move. When they're just good, right? For the most part. But that's one of the vids I'm gonna do at some point. Lord's will is the Lord is starting to take away that good that they've been living in, right? And certain things is particular thing in the market, right? That that has basically been noted, right? Which is a sign that these well-to doers, right? They're gonna start feeling the pain real soon. Okay. So it says they are not in trouble as other men, neither they play like other men, and that's it. It says therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment, right? And that's one of the reasons why these heathens, just but especially the Edomite looks down on Jay, right? Because for the most part, Edomites are doing good as a collective, right? Whereas for the most part, Jay, we ain't doing good, okay? But in the kingdom, oh, we're gonna be doing good, right? So let me because I've still got quite a bit to read. So let me run through this, right? Verse 8: Happy are thy men, happy are thy servants, which stand continually before thee, and that hear thy wisdom, right? Blessed be Yahweh thy power, which delighted in thee to set thee on the throne of Israel, or on the throne of Israel, because Yahweh loved Israel forever. Therefore made he thee king to do judgment and justice. And she gave the king 120 talents of gold and spices of very great store, right, and precious stones. There came no more such abundance of spices as these which the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. And the navy also of Hiram that brought gold from Ophir, brought in from Ophir great plenty of almug trees and precious stones, right? And once again, just like how this guy's saying, look, man, yeah, man, I want my, macadamia trees so that, what do you call it? My cows can, what do you call it? So that my cows can, eat the finest. We gonna be like, look, man, I want my cows to eat the finest X, Y, Z. I want my cows to drink the finest beer, right? I'm gonna get the finest hops, which I don't. I'm just saying I don't actually know if cows can actually drink beer, because that's the thing with E. He will give animals foods they can't actually even consume. I think they can, right? But that's one for confirmation, right? Continuing on, it says, and the king made of the algum trees pillars for the house of the Lord, and for the king's house harps also and psalteries. Yes, once again, brothers may be like, look, man, like, oh man, like Edomites, they'll have what do you call it? They'll have what do you call it? Is that thing? Because it's just giving me a company right now. But basically, they'll have like violins, right, made from the most what do you call it? The most basically the best woods, so that the vi the audio, the noise, the music, the vibrations got there in the end, Salakia, right? I was on, I was buffering there, right? But the violin would be made from the will be making the most beautiful sounds, the vibrations, the way it interacts with the wood, right? So arcing may be a thing where it's like, look, man, this particular violin, right? Or this particular wood is good for this violin. So you know what? I'm gonna plant that tree, right? And it's not even like buy the tree and I'm gonna plant that tree, right? And certain trees take a long time, right? How long does it take to grow a redwood tree, right? So it says coast redwoods can grow 3 to 10 feet per year. Redwoods are the among the oh no, these are actually quite fast. I thought redwoods were quite slow trees, but yeah, you get certain trees where it takes them time to grow, right? It takes them time, a long, long, long time for them to grow, right? But that may be the perfect tree for your piano, for your violin, for your harp. Okay, but guess what? Time isn't an issue, right? In the kingdom, time won't be an issue, right? The ability to get the perfect of everything, that's gonna be open to us. The Lord is gonna give that to us, right? To the children of Israel. Right, and the king and King Solomon gave First Kings 10:13 says, and King Solomon gave unto the Queen of Sheba all her desires whatsoever she asked, beside that which Solomon gave her of his royal bounty. So she turned and went to her own country, and she and her servants. Right. Let me see. Jump some of these. All right. Yeah, more verse 18. Moreover, the king made a great throne of ivory and overlaid it with the best gold. Now, let's be real, most of us will be happy with just any gold, right? But it says King Solomon wanted the best gold, right? It says the throne had 6 steps, it goes and describes it, right? Verse 21 says, and King Solomon's drinking vessels were of gold, right? It says, and this, and you may have silver plated cups, right? Plated being the key word, right? But even silver cups, you're like, oh shit, I got silver cups. Now, King Solomon had gold cups, right? And that's what we're gonna have. This is gonna be nothing to us in the kingdom, right? And all the vessels of the house of the forest of Lebanon were of pure gold, none were of silver, right? Basically, like silver. What do you mean? It was nothing accounted of in the days of Solomon, right? Remember that word we looked up before, opulence, great wealth, or luxuriousness, right? That's what is coming to the children of Israel, right? In the kingdom, right? And then it says, for the king had at sea a navy of Tarshish with the navy of Haram, right? Once in 3 years, the navy of Tarshish bringing gold, silver, ivory, and apes and peacocks. So I go into the Americas, right? So King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom, right? It says, and all the earth sought to Solomon, right, to hear his wisdom, brought presents, chariots, and I'll read verse 27 and I'll read some more and then some other precepts and close it out. Where it says, verse 27, the king made silver to be in Jerusalem as stones, and cedars made he to be as the sycamore tree that are in the vale for abundance, right? So silver, and I always think about this, you might be when you're young, right, and you're just kicking stones as you walk, right? That's stones. That's basically saying that's what imagine that was silver. That's how gold and silver was in the kingdom of King Solomon, right? And in our kingdom, right, it says there's gonna be streets paved with transparent gold, right? Let me see if I can just jump straight into a point. I mean, because this is Isaiah 60 goes into a lot, right? Of just, all of the, the things that, these different nations are going to be bringing so much to us, right? This is Isaiah 65. It says, then shall thou see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee, right? The heathen nations will bring all of their riches to Israel, right? All of their finest things, right? It says, and the multitudes of camels shall come to thee, the dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense. They shall show forth the praises of the Lord, right? All the flocks of Kedar, right, shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nebaioth shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance upon my altar, and I'll glorify the house of my glory, right? And that's it, man. Once again, Isaiah 60 goes into loads of different things. The fact that the Lord is going to raise us back up, right? As we read here in verse 17, for brass I'll bring gold and iron, silver, and for iron I will bring silver, right? And for wood, brass, and stones, iron, I will also make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness, right? So the right now, as Jake's a position where we don't have anything in the kingdoms. We're just, things are gonna be as nothing. Okay, the riches are gonna be as nothing to us. Okay, so I'll read just two more quick ones and I'll close it out. This time is going, but this is Revelation 21:4. It says, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away, right? And that's it, right? We're gonna be all happy, in the kingdom, right? And as you read on further, also goes on to say how, just to describe, as I told, rather mentioned before, about how the streets of transparent gold, right, and how everything's just gonna be beautiful in the kingdom, right? And the last one, Isaiah 64:4, for since the beginning of the world, men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither hath eye seen, O Most High, beside thee, what he hath prepared for him that waiteth for him. Right? So, Lord, no eye hath seen, man, what the Lord has prepared. Right now, we can say, oh, it's going to be like this, it's going to be like that. Ultimately, we don't know, right? But we just, we know it's going to be good, right? We know it's going to be good, right? So one, as we come to the end of this man's kingdom, these are the things that we look forward to, right? So as always, Lord, with us edifying. Till next time, we say shalom.